Welcome to Pure Local Extra on Newport City Radio. I'm Kim Frederick. In the driving seat once again today is Keys. Woohoo!
Hello, everyone.
And we're very excited. We've got two guests in today. Our old friend Nia John, who's, when I say old, I mean it in the nicest possible way. I mean we like you so much that we keep having you back.
Yes, thank you so much for having me back again.
And we got a new friend, Steele, who's sitting in the yellow corner. Woohoo!
Oh, thank you. I'm a new old friend as well.
You've got such a lovely smiley face as well. I love smiley
Pure
faces.
joy.
Yeah, absolutely. I'm looking forward to chatting with you guys about everything that's going on in your worlds today, and I know there's some exciting projects coming up for both of you. So where shall we start then? So Al, let's start with you because you are our guest who's coming for the very first time today. I came in on half a conversation when I was out making the coffee and you were talking to the guys about a trip to New York soon. Tell us about this.
Yeah, that's very exciting because I only just got the message from WhatsApp yesterday and they went, "We've booked the flights to New York." And I went, "Oh, okay, we're definitely going then." So it's a charity called Music Man Project UK, and it works with people with learning disabilities. It's essentially a music school where people with learning disabilities will go in and they'll learn all of these quite complicated songs, and they'll be hitting tambourines and hitting notes on xylophones and all sorts of stuff. And then they take them and they go, "Well, you couldn't possibly do a concert with this, could you?" And they go, "Yes, we can, and we're going to do a concert at the London Palladium. Ooh. And we need someone who's going to do orchestrations and everything and make this music sound fantastic. We need Al Steele," they went. "We need an Al Steele." And I went, "Well, I'll do it. You know, you don't need an Al Steele."
Al Steele.
And so, yeah, they're a fantastic organisation. I've done only 4 concerts with them, 2 at the Palladium and 2 at the Albert Hall.
Oh, well, going big, why don't you?
Yeah. And full orchestra at the Albert Hall stuff. And not only orchestra, but the first time it was a put-together orchestra that we all put together. And the second time it was a Marines plus strings, and they were amazing.
I bet that sounded awesome.
Amazing band, and just an amazing concert. And everyone I know that's been to it has said, "Well, I didn't know what to expect, but I didn't expect that. I didn't expect it to be that good."
Yeah. Wow.
And it is so uplifting. It's like 600 people on stage, massed choirs and all of that, and all of these massed Music Man students from all over the country who come in and do this concert at the Albert Hall. It's just amazing.
So what kind of music were they playing?
It's mainly original music. So they will write music that works, that is about doing music. They'll go high, low, middle, high, low, high, and they go, "Now we hit the tambourine," and they go dun 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 dun. But the musical director, the guy who writes all of this music, is a guy called David Stanley, and he's a monster musician. He's absolutely fantastic. He's a piano player, and he plays me the stuff, and I go, "Okay, I get it. I know exactly where you're going with this." And then I make it bigger, and the bigger I make it, the more he likes it. And so I go, "Yeah, well, you go a bit prog here." We go, and he goes, "Yeah, I love it." I go, "David, you've never said no to anything I've said." And he went, "No, and I never will either."
Oh, that's excellent. Well, we have this mantra, don't we, between us all? Keys is in on this as well. Don't say no to anything. Say yes to everything.
Yeah.
Because you just never know, do you, what it's going to lead to, what opportunities come your way.
Yeah, indeed.
And because you've had quite a long, fruitful career, really, haven't you,
Al? Because I'm old.
What have you not done? I mean, he's done all sorts of things. And if we cast our minds back, let's go back to when I first knew of you, which of course was with the Corgis back in probably the 80s, when you had a couple of quite big hits, didn't you?
Yeah, big hits there. I wasn't with the Corgis in the 80s. I wasn't with the Corgis till the 90s. They did an album called This World's for Everyone, and I came in and just did some dates with them. But I got very friendly with the original writer. The big song, of course, everyone goes, "I know the Corgis. What did they do?" They did Everybody's Got to Learn Sometime.
Yeah.
It started, "Change Your Heart,
yeah.
Look Around." You'll never go, "Oh, yeah, I know that song."
Yeah.
So that was a huge hit. And they had another hit in this country, and they had a big hit in South America. But essentially it's known for that one song. And without that one song, we wouldn't be able to do gigs. No one would buy the new albums because no one would know who we were.
Oh.
But I helped them put the band back together in 2017.
Yeah.
We had, at that point, a big band, like about an 8-piece that we were touring. And then it went on, and we're now a 5-piece, and that works quite well. We're 4 original albums in. and just a new album just being released in America called Coffee in New York.
Yeah,
which
we'll talk about that one in a minute. Yeah, Coffee in New York. I love that track as well. Gorgeous track.
It's a goodie. It is. It's a goodie.
Well, I'm going to argue with you a little bit because you say about that track being the only one that the Corgis are known for, but I'm going to play you one that I know the Corgis for. Okay, so let's have this one then. This is called If I Had You. Yeah, big hit, wasn't it?
Oh, it was a big hit.
Let's go. Rise to the challenge then, and that is our two guests today, Nia John and Al Steele. Tell us about it. That's a big song, isn't it? Nia, tell us about it.
Yeah, I'm really pleased how well it's done, actually. I was just saying that it was my most played track last year on Spotify, so it overtook some of the things like Total Eclipse of Crying Out Loud, which have been really good until that point. I think the gym guys play it a lot. Essentially, the idea come from growing up with Rocky films and those 80s sort of
can
power
feel that,
songs. And when I was searching on the internet for like boxing songs and motivational songs, they were all hip hop and rap. And I thought, well, where's that sound gone from the sort of 80s? And to sort of bring back that sort of rock sound to it, and to sort of embroil it in sport competitiveness, believe in yourself, and the boxing era, really. So it was due to my memories of Rocky and wanting to bring that kind of sound back, because I couldn't find it in modern music.
Definitely does sound quite a motivating song, doesn't it?
And luckily Jim participated in it, so go check out the video because we've got some real boxers there. Exciting.
Yeah, we've been discussing this. We think you should send that song to a top boxer or an up and coming boxer for them to use as their anthem, don't we?
Yes, 100%. There's actually we've got Welsh wrestlers nearby, so maybe.
Any ideas?
What do you think, Al? Good idea?
Well, I once told Joe Calzaghe that he shouldn't sing, that he had a better speaking voice. But he's not boxing anymore, is he, Joe? So.
Well, he wasn't going to sing, so we weren't going to let him sing then, were we, really?
Does he sing? Is that a thing?
I've heard him sing.
He did try.
I've heard him sing karaoke.
Tried, but not well.
No, no, but he does have a good speaking voice. So it was on, I can't even remember what the song was. I think it was something for Giovanni's Restaurants, or Giovanni is he loves to sing. Not the most best singer, but he loves to sing. And he knew Joe and he knew his father, and so they came in and he went, Joe, you've got to do something on this. And Joe's going, well, I'm not really a singer.
It's like when they say you've got a face for radio, isn't it, Kim?
What's she looking at me like that for?
We're in this together, actually.
We are. We've both got faces for radio.
You've got beautiful faces, lady.
Thank you.
I love her so much.
Yeah, you can come back again.
Yeah, she does. She's often in. She's our friend. She comes in, makes a cup of tea, brings us a t-shirt, all sorts of things. Yeah. So, all right, let's look at some more up-to-date projects then. So, Al, you've got. I thought you had one new album out, but that's actually two, isn't it?
Well, we're always doing stuff with the Corgis. So we basically released 4 original albums in the last 4 years. And then someone approached us and said, hey, would you do an American album? And the idea was, it was an Australian co-writer who co-writes with us. And he said, hey, what about if we do an album, The Corgis, and Joe Matera, because he's Australian Italian, should be Joe Matera really, but he calls himself Joe Matera because he's Australian, and an Al Steele album. And so we'll have some songs of yours and I, and then some of the co-writes that we did with the Corgis. And we went, well, we got this great song called Coffee in New York, maybe we should call it that. We'll call it Coffee in New York. And so they went for it. They went, great, we're going to do this. So it's sort of a compilation, but there's a couple of new tracks on it, and a couple of tracks of mine, and a couple of tracks of Joe's. So that's the Corgis one. That's Coffee in New York.
Yeah.
And what inspired Coffee in New York? Was it a coffee in New York?
I'll tell you what it was. It was a guy called Daniel Silverman, who's a bit of a Corgis fan. And I just ended up talking on the phone to him. And I said, Danny, I was supposed to be in New York last year because it was just after the COVID, and we were expecting Biden to open everything up, and I booked a holiday in New England, and then we were going to come back and spend 4 days in New York. And I told him this. I said, we're going to come back to New York. And he went, we could have caught up for a coffee. And I said, that's a great song title, Coffee in New York.
Yes.
You know? And he didn't know that I'd written the song until afterwards, and he heard it on an album, and he went, you wrote the song.
Oh, he's chuffed, wasn't he?
And he's even more chuffed now, because that was on a previous album, but now he's got an album called Coffee in New York.
Yeah.
There's a picture of him on the liner notes as well, saying this was inspired by Daniel Silverman, and we've just done a video, and he's got a video of himself now drinking coffee in New York.
He's made the big time, hasn't he?
He really has.
But it is a beautiful track, and I was listening to it over the weekend. We haven't got it to play today, so I am going to get hold of it, and we're going to play it another week because it's absolutely beautiful.
Sure, no worries. If you need me to send it to you,
I do.
I'm your man.
I do. It's exactly what I need. Yeah, so that's good. Let's talk about what you've got coming up then, Nia. What are you working on at the moment?
So we've recently released Ascension in September, which was the collection of 12 original songs that I done with Steele. So that's fantastic to see that come to fruition. So I'm still kind of promoting that, really. I've written 2 songs of lyrics, but I haven't had time yet to sort of look at music and progress with that. I've had 2 rappers get in touch with me. Can they collaborate on songs? So that may be interesting in the future to look at.
Ooh, have you worked with rappers before?
No, but I know a few of them as musicians, so I'm quite interested, really, and I respect everybody's art and genre, so I think we can all learn from each other. And if you look at songs which are sort of integrated, where you've got, say, pop and then you've got a rap chorus or bridge or whatever, then I think you can blend it, so it's quite interesting.
It'd be good to blend rock and rap, Aerosmith, the Aerosmith and Run DMC song is so fantastic.
I love it, yeah.
What a lovely blend that is.
Yeah, so something, so that'd be interesting for the future. I obviously got my own ideas, and part of the lead title track on Ascension and the meaning of that song was that it's you discovering your own sound. So from these 12 songs, which can be viewed as quite different, 'cause if you take like the Dee Dee song as opposed to, I don't know, Believe in Yourself and You Promise Me a Tomorrow, they're very different. So I've explored different genres and sounds, everything I wanted to be sort of creative and get out there, and then it's kind of finding your sound and fine tuning. So I think going forward I have more of an idea of my sound, essentially. So it's quite an interesting future.
And you're developing all the time, aren't you? And weaving your way through the music and life in general, and just everything changes. You just take a different route depending on what steps out in front of you, don't you? I guess. And
I've got the band stuff with Wolfstorm running alongside that, so I'm quite busy.
Yeah, the band's always busy.
My covers band, we're out sort of most weekends, all across South
Where
Wales.
are you this weekend? You out tonight?
Out tonight. We did a retirement party last night and they loved us, which is great. It was a fantastic match between us and the people who booked us and the audience. Tonight we're in the Court Rolling in Caerphilly, so local.
Oh, excellent.
Yeah. So going back to you, Al, because we talked about Coffee in New York, and you were going to talk about your other album. So let's switch back to that then.
Okay, so the other album's a wee bit more contentious. It's called Let's Play the God Game.
I've been so keen to ask you about this. This sounds like it's going to be real good fun. Come on, where did it come from?
It is fun. It was the idea and this is kind of what I wrote on the liner notes, is one day, for no particular reason, the biblical text of God created the earth in 6 days and on the seventh he rested. And I thought, he sounds a bit like a computer programmer, really. He's like he's designed a game. Maybe it is a game, because there's so many funny things that happen to us. And if you look at our politics and everything, it's all a game at the moment, isn't it? You couldn't make it up. And so then I started these ideas of, what if our politicians were really a cosmic joke dreamed up by a god with a flair for humor? And so all that, and then I started just kind of writing down a couple of titles of song titles, like things like In His Own Image. I'll go, that's quite a nice little title. When I Create Man. Oh, that's a nice title. I wonder what we can do with that. So before I knew it, probably in the space of about 2 months, I'd written 20 songs. And because I have a recording studio, I was like, I'd finish the studio, a session with Nia or something like that. And then I'd quickly put down a demo, in a couple of hours for the next song that I had. So I very quickly had a whole collection of things. All in quite different styles, but it's probably got a rock edge to it. I kind of wanted the album to have a wee bit of a rock edge. It isn't just me on it. Isn't just me singing on it. I'm one of the gods. I'm the god who created the earth. But I'm not the proper god. I'm not the top god. This is
getting better.
Big news, people. Al is the god.
But I'm not the top god, because the top god is a woman.
Oh, well, we knew that was coming, didn't we?
This show just got better. Thank you. We can say that again, actually.
So, played by Barry artist Danielle Nichols, who has her own band and is a great songwriter in her own right. She's also part of the Corgis. I put her into the Corgis. I went, she'd be great in the Corgis. So there she is. But she's playing the part of God.
I can't wait to hear this.
So it's worse. It gets worse all the way through. So Gordon is not. In fact, my family said, so the gods are good, right? And I went, no. I said, they created humans in their image, and the humans are not great, are they? So that follows that the gods are not great either. So they're just as messed up as we are. So the idea is they've got this God game, and let's play the God game, and they bet on what's going to happen on Earth. So it's like, they've died. Never mind. That was funny, wasn't it? So...
I love this.
So the whole story is kind of messed up. I've likened it to a cross between The Matrix and Sister Act.
And is it a little bit like the gods in Greek mythology, for instance?
Yes. Yes. So, for instance, my sidekick is Demeter, who is played by my daughter. She's a god of food and wine. Well, I like a glass of wine every now and then. I thought she was a logical choice to have next to me.
Absolutely.
And so there's a few, of course, Adam and Eve are there as well. So you've got this disparity between things being terrible down on Earth and things being quite nice up in heaven, even though they're all there's a lot of infighting going on.
This sounds amazing. What do you think, Keys? We've got to listen to this, haven't we?
I would just walk around in your head for a couple of days.
I don't think you would.
I think we actually just have.
I think so. I feel like you're just walking through a video game or something, like seeing all these sort of creative inspiration everywhere. It's incredible. It sounds like you're really building this world around your music.
Yeah, well, it's something I've done with the Corgis for a little while, is have a concept for an album, and it makes the writing easier if you go, that has to fit into the concept. So that's what we're going to do. I think the first comeback album we did was Cartoon World, and it was a journey from the 80s all the way through all the key things that had happened, going on into the future and looking at AI and looking at robotics, looking at social media, all of that sort of stuff. So that was one. And then we kind of did, last year we did a couple of albums called Ununited Nations, and the idea of that was it was all based on locations in the world. If you could say this song is in a location, it was in, basically. So I wrote a song about a German who was so busy that he only had time for sex on Saturday. It's called Sex on Saturday. And so there were many things, there were the good old days of the Cold War, which is Putin talking about how he longs to get all of the countries back. Starting with Ukraine. Let's start with Ukraine.
Let's go for it, This sounds like you really, really enjoy songwriting, though. It really does sound like you enjoy it.
Yes, and I think I've written songs all my life, but then there were times where I had a hiatus where I thought, I haven't really got anything. I'm writing in a vacuum, so it feels a bit pointless. But when we put the Corgis back together, it was no longer a vacuum, that we had a fan base, we had people that would buy the albums, not as many as used to, but at least there are people who are interested. And then by the strange quirk of fate, people have started to become interested in my albums, whereas I couldn't sell any before, whereas now I sell a few. You know?
That's good.
It's a win-win.
Yeah. Right, listen, I want to ask you about another track, and then we're going to play it, and we're going to come back because I want to talk about Shabby Road as well in a minute. This track that's coming up is called Matala Moon, and I know there's a story behind that. So quickly tell us the story behind this track.
Well, it's a big story behind this. By strange quirk of fate, I was in London on Tuesday with Marley, the guy that co-wrote this, Marley Davidson. What a name that is. Yeah. Marley Davidson. Brum brum. And he's a piano player, and he has a very high angelic voice. He's like, I've never heard anything like him before. He uses a lot of reverb. It's very spacey. And he'd been on at us for ages. He's from Dundee. He goes, can I support the Corgis? I want to support the Corgis. And I go, Marley, I'm not sure. He's going, go on, let me. Anyway, he sent us this track and he said, I've got this idea for a co-write. And essentially it was a piano track all the way through that went through. And he'd written a kind of chorus to it. And I said to James, who's the main guy, James Warren is the guy that wrote Everybody's Gonna Learn Tom Tom. I said, there's something here. I said, we could do something really nice with this. I said, we could write another song over the top of his so that his lines came in between ours and his would then form an answer back to what we have. And so we did, James and I do what we always do. We sat down and we just bashed through it and went, yeah, well, we could do here. Oh, we could do that. We could do that. And James went, yeah, I could. And James is brilliant at doing a tune instantly. He'll just sing something over it and you go, that's amazing. That's brilliant. And that's what he did with the verse. He just sung the first thing that came into his head and it was like, don't change anything. That's amazing. And we thrashed out the chorus between us and worked it out in an almost mathematical way. Think, well, Marley's singing that line, so we need something in here that goes in there. And we could go, oh, that chord's nice. We could do a really high note there. And so we just really quickly put down these things. These ideas without any real lyrics, because James just makes up any words. Sometimes they make sense, but he makes up any words on the spot. And then he says, do you know what this needs? It needs a really great Al Steele lyric. So can you go away and write it, please? And invariably what will happen is that night I'll go home and it probably takes about an hour and a half, something like that. Initially, nothing. Initially, I just sit there and kind of let ideas percolate. And I had this idea of Matala Moon. Now, Matala Beach is in Crete, and it's an old hippie beach. There are caves up on the side. If you ever go, you'll see that you can go out, you can walk up into these caves. And hippies used to live in the caves in the early 70s, late 60s, early 70s. And one of the people that went there was Joni Mitchell, when she was writing the album Blue, and she was just broken up with Graham Nash, and she got involved with a guy with red hair called Carey, and she wrote a lot of the album about this relationship with him and about getting over Graham Nash while living in a cave. And I just thought, what a great story this is. And we'd also been there, and I was thinking of the feelings that I was thinking of, going, I'm walking in the same place that Joni Mitchell was when she wrote the album Blue, and I was just thought that could be the answer back things that Marley's singing about. That amazement that I'm here in exactly the same place that she was, where she went to the Mermaid Cafe and she drank wine and
it's a great
all that sort of
story.
stuff. So that's what it's about.
Yeah.
Now, the epilogue to this story is, I rang up Marley and I went, Marley, we've just been working on your song and I've just written it. It's about Joni Mitchell. And he went, I bloody hate Joni Mitchell. I hate Joni Mitchell. So,
I thought you were going to say, who's Joni Mitchell?
Yeah, well, he is too young. But I convinced him. I said, no, it's not a song about how great Joni Mitchell is. It's about an episode in her life. It's a story, you know. It's a great story. You'll love it. Anyway, and he's gone, I want to hate Joni Mitchell. Anyway, I sent it to him and he went, I love it.
Oh, well, I love it as well. Let's have a listen to it, shall we? Matala Moon, then.
Last night I had a dream. I was under Cretan skies, migration Isle,
the brand new one from Shifty Pop, just dropped into my inbox this week, and it is called Unconditional Love. We'll be playing that a little bit more over the next few weeks, I can tell you that much.
Unexpected love.
Unexpected. Right, I'm sitting around the corner. I do apologise. I've got a lot to apologise for today, actually, because I'm sitting around the corner, so I can't see. Didn't have my glasses on anyway. Not much hope, really. And also, I'm sucking on a lozenge now because, as you probably noticed, I keep having a coughing fit. So apologies all round, really. Be back to normal service next week, which will be equally as silly.
I can't wait for you to come in and be like, hello, everyone. How you doing?
Right, we were talking about all sorts of things that you guys are up to musically. I just want to switch back to Al, though, because a lot of people will know you, Al, from Shabby Road recording studios, of course. A lot of the local musicians do use your studios. So how did you come to set up is it yours, or are you in partnership? Or?
It's a partnership. It's a partnership with a guy called Nigel Hart. I was doing a lot of TV shows in the 90s, etc. So you talk about Bonnie Tyler there. It's like I backed Bonnie Tyler a few times on some of these TV shows. Indeed. And we both had studios at home, but they weren't pro studios. Although we had quite a lot of good equipment, we didn't have the space to record drums or anything, so we were hiring local studios. And just at that point, we went, we're busy enough. We should open our own studio. Nigel had this huge mixer. I had these huge speakers, and we went, all we need is a bit more equipment, and we've got it, So we just decided that would be a good idea to do. We did it on a shoestring, really. We didn't do big loans or anything. The idea was, if we've got a job in and we need a piece of equipment, we'll buy it out of the money that comes in from that job. So we did very little in the way of credit or anything like that. And we built it room by room. It was a big empty unit to start off. We built it room by room. We built a drum booth and so it just started from there. And, I think in the early days we did anything that would come in, and that worked great. Then we had a partnership with a company called Music Wales, and they put loads of stuff into Tesco and Asda all over Wales. And so we had our own stands of CDs. So Cerys Matthews had released a new album, and she'd go, can I put it in your stand? We go, yeah, we can put it in 9 pockets in the stand, whereas in the chart, you're only going to get 1. Mm-hmm. And so people like that would come and say, yeah, can you do my album? And so we then went, well, we can make our own albums as well. So we had, someone like a guy called Jamie Pugh, who was on Britain's Got Talent, who got knocked off Britain's Got Talent, but even now his videos, it still goes up by a few thousand a day, because he did bring him home, and everyone went, that was amazing. Have you seen this guy? He was amazing. So we did an album with Jamie and released that. And that went on for a little while. It became a bit scary, sometimes the bank account would be £100 and 100,000 in credit one day and 40,000 overdrawn the next day. No. So it's a bit scary. We decided to just get back to being a studio. Nigel I still work with Nigel a lot, but he became more of a silent partner in the studio. And I went, the thing I really enjoy working with is songwriters. So that's what I'm going to do. I'm going to target it more towards songwriters. And it was amazing. The minute I did that, people would come along, 60, 70-year-olds would go, I've written songs all my life, I've never recorded them. And I go, well, you tell us what the song's like and we'll play all the instruments, because I'm a bit of a multi-instrumentalist. I'm a pretty good guitarist and an okay keyboard player, and I play bass. I program drums pretty well, so I can make a band quite quickly.
He's amazing. He's very good.
And in fact, even the drummers go, yeah, so who played drums on that? I go, it's programmed.
He's the best drummer.
So the name of the studios is, I guess, inspired by Abbey Road.
With a sh in
well,
front
I was
of
just going to say to you must have grown up listening to the Beatles. So that was that. In addition to the fact that obviously it was a catchy name, and we all relate to Abbey Road through the name. That must have been an inspiration to you as well. I guess the Beatles, you must have grown up listening to them and influenced by them.
I think for most musicians, they'll go back to the Beatles and say classic pop, classic chord sequences, brilliant harmonies, inventive, great orchestrations from George Martin. So there wasn't anything that they didn't do that you couldn't be inspired by. And then you think of other bands like, people like 10cc, who are highly inspired by the Beatles. ELO, highly inspired by the Beatles. So there was then a whole group of people that came along, and you go, yeah, they're a Beatles-inspired group as well. Crowded House, you know. Graham Gorman from 10cc, who still writes. In fact, I have a funny Graham Gorman story. As I went to see 10cc, and I saw it. I met him backstage because our drummer knew someone in the band. It was like, great, we can get to meet Graham Gorman. And I said to him, Graham, I put on a playlist of your new stuff the other day, and I sort of really liked it. I just thought you sounded like Paul McCartney still at his peak. And I said, until the fifth song come on. And then the fifth song come on, I went, I really don't like this so much. And I looked at it, and it was Paul McCartney.
Oh my gosh.
Because it was a Spotify playlist, and they chopped it, gone, no, you can't listen to Greg Gorman anymore. And he went, can I have that in writing, please?
I was listening, coming in today, I was listening to Radio 2, actually. I was listening to Dermot O'Leary, and he was interviewing George Martin's son.
Oh, yeah, Giles, yeah.
Giles,
yeah.
And he was talking about the Beatles Anthology Volume 4 that has just been released or about to be released. I don't know if you're aware of this. I didn't catch the beginning of it. But it was really, really interesting. It's like George Martin's talking on it. It's quite raw. It's got the at the beginning of the tracks, it's got, you know, whatever the song is, Helter Skelter, Take 4 or whatever. And it's really, really nice to listen. If you're a Beatles fan, it's a really nice thing to listen to. Yeah. And that kind of made me think, oh yeah, you know, you coming in today and the connection. I thought, I bet that's the sort of thing you'd enjoy listening to.
Yeah, it is. And it's amazing. Probably the reason they're releasing it now is because with all of the new technology and being able to separate sounds out, that means that songs like the last Beatles song that they did, they tried to do that when they first released the anthology, and they couldn't do it because they couldn't separate Lennon's voice from his piano. Now, of course, they're able to separate it perfectly, so they're able to do it, which means now there is new scope for new light on some of those old songs where they can come in and actually just remix them completely. And Giles is a brilliant engineer. The stuff that they produce is just like really good. They like to still keep it raw, but somehow it sounds polished as well. I don't know how they do that, but amazing.
What's the most unusual instrument you've ever had to work with in your studio? And also, Nia, have you got any unusual instruments that you've either played or had on a recording or in the band or anything like that? Or is there one that you would like? I'm thinking of something like an ocarina or bagpipes or
because we had it with
Jews harp or something.
Yeah, like it was a death
I've
flute.
used a vibro slap and kazoo with you. It's probably the most unusual. But I mean, the sounds that Al comes up with are phenomenal, isn't it? What we can achieve, it is just...
It's all there, isn't it?
You want, isn't it? Yeah.
Yeah. The way I like to think is I kind of like to think in my head and imagine what something should sound like, and then try and go and find the sounds to make that work. So sometimes, you know, we'll sit there and I might just go, I don't know, it needs something that's sustainy, that isn't a plucked instrument, that's maybe something like this might work.
You need to talk to our guest from last week, Uzu, because he was telling us about a musical instrument he just brought, and it's called an Aztec death whistle, isn't it?
Yes.
So it's apparently something that the Aztecs used to use when they're having a sacrifice.
Okay. Hey, we could use that on one of your songs, Nia, for sure.
Yeah.
Well, yeah, because actually, Nia, you do some kind of quite dark, not dark really as such, but you're quite,
grungy.
you kind of you like
Gothic.
That,
It's like
that's
gothic,
the word I'm looking for. Yeah. That
It's
could fit
probably,
I'll introduce you.
Yeah.
I can borrow his death
Probably
whistle.
Night Stalker's kind of gothy.
Yeah.
Can You See Me is kind of gothy.
Yeah. So anything that you would like to venture into again soon, like music wise, any kind of that you haven't tried yet, genre you haven't tried?
Well, I want to stay in my roots in terms of rock music because that's where I'm most happy and I feel more comfortable. But obviously, like I mentioned earlier, you could work with a rapper, you could work with any sounds. And I think reflecting on the new album Ascension is part of that, which I really thought was beautiful and really good. Like the harpsichord in Believe in Yourself.
Yeah, I'd forgotten about that.
The beginning of that is phenomenal. And that's a lot of people's favourite song because it just catches you, and then my vocal at the beginning. So you wouldn't have thought something like that would sound so great, but it kind of is really enthralling and encapsulating for the audience. So yeah, I remain open-minded, but I know kind of where I want to go and things. So.
Oh, good. Well, listen, shall we have one more of your songs then, Nia? What we got coming up next then? I'm not even going to attempt it from this distance. I'm going to let Keys introduce this one.
I was about to read the wrong thing then. It says dry, and it's not dry. We've got Nia John with Lift Me Up.
Lift Me Up. Tell us about it quickly.
It's a heaven song. That's, a lot of people like this one as well. Yeah.
Well, let's have a listen, shall we?
Right here.
Right here.
Right now.
Right now.
Different kinds of music.
Newport City Radio.
Walk, I'm wondering, would this day be the same again? I'm looking in the mirror. There's got to be more to the end. Strolling in the city, passing motorbikes. Our eyes met that moment where you missed a ride.
Oh, that's so beautiful. Nia Jones there.
Gorgeous that
It's
was,
beautiful.
Nia.
Yeah.
Thank you.
We love that. We're gonna. She's munching on a piece of flapjack. How are you getting on with your flapjack over there,
My
Al?
flapjack was outstanding.
Good. Well,
Outstanding.
Nia's still munching on hers, so we'll come to you first. Then, Al, because you nearly finished. Listen, we've only literally got 3 minutes to talk, to wrap up. So, what are we gonna? What's the most important thing to you at the moment? Are we pushing this album? Do you need people to know about the studio?
Both of them. We'll push
Yes,
the
let's go for it.
Corgis, Coffee in New York, and Al Steele. Let's play the God game if you dare.
Oh, do you know what? I can't wait. I can't wait for this God game. Both of them. I just can't wait for both of them. I think they're going to be such a lot of fun. So terrific. And how are people going to get in touch with you if they want to get in touch with the studios?
Okay, well, shabbyroad.com is
Easy
out
as
there.
that.
Thecorgis.com. There's contact us forms on all of those, and it comes straight through to our emails. Also, Facebook, The Corgis, Al Steele Music. It's all out there. You'll find
Easy
me if
to
you
find.
search, or just Google it. It'll come up.
You've got the easiest handles ever.
Yes.
Usually it's like, what's to be like, the shabby 569 point. No, amazing.
Don't like
You've
that at all.
claimed it.
Well done for that. That was a good one. All right, over there, Nia, how are people going to get in touch with you if they want to get in touch with Wolfstorm, the band, or you as a solo artist?
Just Google it again. So if you Google Wolfstorm, wolfstorm.net comes up, which is my band. There's a chat function there, and all our events are there. If you want to come and see us across South Wales, you're very welcome. And just to sort of throw in there that if people buy any merchandise, the money goes to charity, goes to Rubia and Storm Wolf Dogs at the Wales Zebra
I
Monkey
think that's
Sanctuary.
lovely. I think that's lovely that you support a wolf.
Me personally, I'm on all social media. Just search Nia John. I'm on Facebook, Insta, X, TikTok, wherever.
Or you could join the 4 million other people.
40 million.
40 million, sorry, 40 million. Trust me to get it wrong. 40 million. That's a big number, isn't it?
Yeah.
I was impressed when I thought it was 4.
Yeah, I'm over the moon with that. This last week I found out I've got over 40 million song streams since 2021. So that's amazing. And big thanks to Al for that as well, for producing my
You
music.
promoted it. Amazing job.
Yeah. So thank you for listening to my music.
Well, you guys obviously have got a great working relationship. Just quickly, have we got time, Keys, to just find out, how did you two meet in the beginning?
I think it was early, wasn't it? When she's massive Meatloaf and Bonnie Tyler fan, and she just came into the studio and went, "I want to do Bat Out of Hell."
Yeah.
Oh, that's it. Friends Forevermore.
That was the first song we recorded,
Terrific. Listen, guys, thank you so much for coming in today. It's been an absolute joy having you in. Nia, always love having you in. You're always such
Thank
good
you so
fun.
much.
Al, brilliant to meet you for the first time. I hope you
Lovely
come
to
back
meet you
another
both.
day.
Nice to meet you.
Great. Well, we're going to say goodbye now, and hopefully we'll have a great weekend. Are you off down to see the Christmas lights? Switch on. 5
Oh,
o'clock.
maybe.
Peter Andre's down there.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah,
We can
great.
see Peter.
Let's go.
Thank
Let's
you.
go.
Bye-bye.
Bye.
Bye.
On Saturday the 29th of November at the Queen's Hotel Newport, join Whispers from the Earth for a day of well-being for the mind, body and spirit.
Come and meet a range of therapists and speakers. Try chair yoga, group singing, clairvoyancy, line dancing, willow weaving and a simple sewing project. Plus tarot reading too. Watch a demonstration of first aid for babies and children. Learn about aromatherapy and meditation, reflexology, Reiki and many other fascinating therapies. The day starts at 10 a.m. with a demonstration of gong sound therapy and continues with talks by life coaches and authors. Get your ticket from eventbrite.co.uk. Search Whispers from the Earth.